This is our damaged vehicle that we started on. Actually, it was rolled on the left side. It was a left side roll. And this is as we're starting to proceed with the teardown of the vehicle. This shows how we spliced it, or how we got it ready to splice. And this is very important. You have to remove the welded nuts on the bottom of the A-pillars with an air chisel, so you can lap that over the top of the original. This is as we're butting our inner panel, and our windshield post on the inside went fully down. This is as we're getting the outer cap on the windshield post. This is our B-pillar splice right here. This is how we join the cab on the floor. This is actually as we were getting more of the finished product. We have the front and the rear glasses installed at this point.
Okay, the subject today is going to be a cab rear section, or a cab top and back, complete top and back, for a 73 to 87 full-size Chevy pickup and GMC. The project was a rollover, so what we had to do was replace the top portion with the complete inner windshield post. And how we did it, since it's very difficult to find one of these that doesn't have rust, or is the proper model, or is a diesel or a gas, that actually fits complete, we had to do the repair process like we did. I feel that the repair process, doing it like that, really makes the most resale for the vehicle, because it does not disturb the VIN number on the dashboard. But anyway, the project is a pretty rust-free vehicle, and that's what kind of made it worth the time and effort to do. Now, the tools that you need to do the job, okay, since mine was a rollover, the only real measurement that I had to really do was I had to measure the windshield posts from the right to the left. And that measurement, from the very lowest corner to the very lowest corner of that side, is approximately 65 inches. You know, and the rest of it is actually pre-measured for you, which we'll kind of go into after a little bit. But anyway, that's what I needed to have the porta power for, was I had to block it, put some wood blocks here, and then I pushed it on that side and got my windshield opening to where I had the right width on it. Okay, so that's what I needed this for. And you need a nice powerful electric drill. There's a lot of spot weld drilling on the rear cab panel, the windshield posts. There's quite a bit. There's only 3 real drill bit sizes that I really use: 1/8 of an inch to start the holes, and then some of the holes I just go up to 1/4 inch, and then some of the ones that are spot welded, like the bigger ones, I use 3/8. But anyway, those are kind of the 3 drill bit sizes I use. And then here's a cordless drill, which makes it a little bit, you know, if you don't have to worry about, you know, drilling the real hard ones or this or that, it kind of works just a little bit lighter. And then of course the Sawzall. And I like this little router tool. Really helps kind of clean up the welds and stuff. And then this wire brush really cleaned up all the windshield urethane and stuff like that. And then a couple sizes of hammers. I like a little small ball peen hammer and a little bigger mini sludge. I have a air chisel and a hand hacksaw, and I just have a right-handed glove. Just afraid of my air chisel slipping or this or that. And so anyway, got a right-handed glove. I use this hand hacksaw to kind of measure my places where I had to splice it. And it gives me a nice precise start. Of course, safety glasses, another safety thing. And this really helped me clamp it together. I use these standard size duckbill vice grips, nice little needle nose ones, medium size reach around, double clamp reach around, and these straight jawed medium sized vice grips also. And then for the knocking down the welds stuff, cleaning up some of my edges, nice, those Makita buffers with the variable speed are real nice with a rock disc. And then did a lot of also cleaning up with this little air grinder with a 5-inch pad. Okay. The other part of the tools that you'll actually need to do this job. So you need a nice heavy-duty extension cord and a 110 MIG welder with the argon CO2 mix, since this is a steel constructed vehicle. And this actually is great, the greatest welding protection I could really ever think of. I didn't have to take apart the inside, take the heater box out, and a lot of the components over there on the driver's side. So actually put this right in there, and it gives a great place for your sparks to kind of bounce off, so that, minimum chance for fires. And then right here, just in case you do get a fire, you always have a bucket of water there, and a hose, of course, with a nozzle on it, which isn't really pictured. And you need that to trim your used part. To make access for the windshield post, I had to actually remove the dashboard on the parts vehicle, and it kind of gives you, in those tight to get areas where you can't really get the saws all in or the hacksaw, as long as you're real careful with that, it kind of helps you get the components ready. So anyway, this is the pretty much most all the tools you need, except for like the obvious basic hand tools like socket wrenches and screwdrivers, stuff like that. But if you do, all you do need is you just need the fractional sizes for the sockets. This is a pre-metric size vehicle. So anyway, that's about it for the tools that you need to perform the repair job. How we did it is I wanted to use the inside windshield posts complete. Okay, the vehicle that I'm doing is black and my replacement part is blue. The reason why I wanted to do this ahead of time before I etched it in black is so that you can see how the procedure really went a little easier. Anyway, I went down complete with the windshield post on the inner, on both sides. And how I sectioned it was by saying I didn't have to measure it. There's actually two bolts that hold the dashboard into place. There's a lower one and there's an upper one. This upper one right here where my finger is at. And it's the same location on both sides. And so the factory actually measures it for you. Is you put the inner windshield post, you lap over the top of where that bolt goes through there, the upper bolt, and then it actually puts it in place. So it's actually within factory tolerances right there. And then you can also see that the way the post rolled up, it lined up correctly. And where we welded it was just a little bit below the upper bolt. Removed that cage nut so that the bolt would actually go through the blue part and the existing piece, the original piece. Okay, then this component right here, that was the inside layer. The middle layer, this one right here, okay, what I did is I measured it from here to here, and I went pretty much exactly in the middle. You can kind of see where this panel right here is spliced. You say we use the windshield post down further. This panel right here, the middle panel, is spliced about right here, and it goes underneath this, which I removed by cutting it 5 inches from center and 5 inches below center. So this was 10 inches. This section was removed just from here to here and down here where it laps over the inside pillar. And this is removed, and it gave me a door to actually weld this all real solid. And it has to be real true in through here because there's really kind of no forgiveness because of the way this fits. It's got to be pretty nice in through there. But anyway, and that's how we did the front pillars. So you overlap it. You have the windshield post all the way down, bolted through the dashboard, and welded, of course. This component right here is welded. It's to the inside windshield post all the way around. And then this one right here welds to this component right here, which also lays over the windshield post. So it's 3 layers deep here and 2 layers deep here. And then this outer cap has this layer right here. So that actually makes the 3 layers on this side. Okay. All right, so back here, what we did back here is the blue component, I did about 3 inches down from the edge. I centered it right where the lock peg goes through there, right where the peg goes through the door latches onto. And this actually gave me my measurement here, so I didn't have to really measure it, because this actually I use as a jig point similar to the bolt in the upper part of the dashboard as my jig point for the front. So anyway, this right here, you did about 3 inches down, and then the black one is up here. It's 3 inches or so above this, right? So this is actually lapped over here. This is the original component down to right about to here. And then I get to here and I have to actually butt that joint so that there's room enough for the rest of the inside panel. The blue portion laps over the inner portion, which is trimmed off up to about here. And then that's just this panel right here, which actually reaches below the rear cab panel. And then what I did with the rear cab panel was actually I put this one, since this one was in real nice dry part with very little rust. So I was able to use this whole rear cab panel on both sides. Drilled out these welds here, all in here, all in here, up to the blue portion, and lapped it over just as if you could still order a brand new full one. And how I knew I had my rear floor cross member straight, so it was actually bent up a little bit, was it by the line of my new part, my replacement part. You can see right where the paint line is and how it lines up real nice, straight, across here, all the way from that side over there. Okay. Hey, this is the conclusion on the 85 K10 pickup, the cab top and back, what we did on this. Anyway, what we did is we painted the inside of the cab, inside of the roof, down the windshield posts, and the B-pillar. And this is actually what it looks like now. These are our spliced areas right here. This is where we splice the two together, and like I say, I use this as a jig point. And then this is where we splice the windshield. And in this pillar right here, put the camera in there, face that. This pillar right here is not spliced at all. It is spliced under here, spliced underneath the dashboard. And the top bolt of the dashboard, I use that as a jig point, so I didn't really have to measure it at all. This is our, on the outside, this is our splice. We spliced it right here. Like I say, I put a window there so I could weld the inner layer. Then I capped that window back on. And then on this part right here, we installed it just as if we had a new cab rear panel. There's no sectioning done there. That's installed right here in the factory places and up behind the rear. Down to the factory seam. I did it underneath there so that this actually only has one splice in it here. And then I did the secondary panel, welded that solid, and then I lapped this on over that. So this is spliced about here and about here, my outer. My inside one is here, my inside middle one. And then we did the same thing on the splice on the B pillar on this side. The original portion was cut there, and this portion on our replacement portion is cut to about here. It's cut to about here, and then of course you have to finish that off. And then this one's the same way. This one is cut, the middle portion, which wraps up underneath this, it's cut about here. I'm not exactly sure, but anyway, the inside is not spliced like the other side. It's bolted up underneath the dash. Okay, that concludes the K10 top and back replacement on the 73 to 87 series full-size GMC Chevrolet pickups.